Hi, Sandy Wyllie. Welcome to my mental health channel, Inside My Holes, where I wipe away the stigma of mental illness by talking about my own personal struggles, having borderline personality disorder. I talk about complex post-traumatic stress disorder, my severe anxiety and panic attacks, depression. I talk about narcissism and my narcissistic mother who abused me, my schizophrenic father who is in and out of mental hospitals. I talk about my unethical psychologist that sexually abused me, all the different types of therapies I've been in, and a plethora of other mental health related topics. But I only come on as a former patient of almost 20 years. I am not a licensed therapist. I do not hold a degree in psychology, so I cannot diagnose you or even give you a professional opinion. All I ask in turn of you is your kindness and respect in the comments. Please be kind to me and be kind to other people, respectful in the comments. We don't need to agree on everything, but we need to show each other respect always. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Please hit that box on the right-hand corner that says subscribe. That way you'll be notified every time there's a new video that comes out. It's 100% free, and if you like it, give it a thumbs up. You can share it, put it out there to friends or on other social networks, whatever you want. Today I'm going to talk about my emotional baggage and how it has impacted my life and my relationships with other people. Now, if you get to a certain age, I'm almost 60, you're going to have emotional baggage. What is emotional baggage? Think about like all this luggage, right? When you go on a trip, you pack your suitcase, right? Well, when bad things happen to you, you're packing your emotional suitcase, all right? So just think of it like that. If nothing's happened to you, your suitcase is empty and you can just walk down the street free as a bird, swinging your suitcase. But when something happens to you, maybe your mother neglects you, your parents divorce, then you start putting things in your suitcase. Emotional items that you really haven't dealt with. And say you get a little older and someone, a boy or a girl at school breaks your heart, or now that's more in your suitcase. Now say you get bullied in school, you get teased, now you feel they make fun of you, that's more in your suitcase. Sooner or later your suitcase is overloaded and now you need a second suitcase, and you get older, maybe you go through a divorce, and that's more in your suitcase. Or maybe your best friend died of cancer, breast cancer, and that's more. Now you have 2 or 3 suitcases. Now you can't walk down the street, right, carefree anymore. You can't even hold all that you contain, all this. You see what I'm saying? Of course, you're going to bring this to each and every relationship that you have. When I was younger, I already had emotional baggage. I started out in the worst case scenario. A lot of people start out with very healthy parents who have healthy attachment styles. I did videos on attachment styles and avoidant attachment. You can look at all the different types of attachment styles videos that I did. So I'm not going to get into this now. But of course the best one is healthy attachment. So if you come from a family with 2 healthy attachment parents, mother and dad, and you grew up in a stable, loving, nurturing environment, you're not going to get that emotional baggage from your childhood, from your family. You probably get it on the outside world when you start going to school. So you already have a head start. That's very important. Children that have a head start in life turn out to be emotionally stable, secure adults. I did not have a head start like a lot of other children. I had a narcissistic mother who beat me, who shamed me, who called me horrific names, whore, slut. I'm not even going to say, she said, F you to me. She said, I didn't even want you. You ruined my life, everything. Then I had a narcissist, then I had a schizophrenic father who was delusional, heard voices. He was a compulsive gambler. He had psychotic breakdowns. He was in mental hospitals. He abandoned me as a child. He left and he went out and he slept with all different women, prostitutes, whores. He gambled. He drank heavy, and he without his medication, he thought people were after him. And I grew up in a chaotic environment where they physically were abusive. My mother was physically abusive to me and my dad. She threw things. She broke things. She left bruises and scratches on me and my dad. And so I did not, and I was an only child, so I had no one else, to deal with this with me. Like if I had a sibling, we could, watch out for each other, or at least we'd have someone else who is going through this at the same time. I had no one, and no one even knew what I was going through. You can watch all my other videos because my mother always displayed, this perfect persona to the outside world, to teachers, to friends, and to neighbors, so no one knew the hellhole I was living. So I did not get that head start. So even before I was tormented and bullied in school, I didn't have any stable, supportive home base. So I was really screwed over. People that grow up in a stable environment don't get emotional attachment, don't get emotional baggage from their families. When they go out in school and everything is something, they get bullied or something like that, they come home and they are supported, they're nurtured, they're loved. So even though they do have some baggage from the outside world, and you can't protect your children from the outside world, once you put them on the bus and they go out to school, they're going to encounter other children who have emotional baggage because they have unstable homes. And those children, even though I had emotional baggage as a child, I never bullied anyone. I never was mean to anyone. I was always respectful and kind. I wasn't one of those kids who came from a horrific home that bullied people, went out and took it out on others, like holding the hot coals from your parents and then throwing them at any bystander in sight because, you're tired of holding on to it for so long that you give it back, you dish it back. You can't dish it back to your parents, right? The adults. So you dish it back to any innocent, insecure girl or boy around you. And this is how it perpetuates into, but, so I was never one of those. I always treated people very kind. I was very shy and respectful of people. But then I went to school and I got bullied and I got tormented and teased. So now I have baggage from my home, from my parents. I have baggage at school, and it just collected. When I grew up, I got more baggage from my cousin. He was like a brother to me. I did a video about that because we grew up in a two-family home, and my cousin lived upstairs, and he was only 8 years older than me. But he, when both my parents died back to back, he stole my inheritance, and I had to, at the same time putting my parents' bodies in the ground, I had to get a lawyer and fight my cousin. So it just kept piling up. Then my son got stricken with pneumococcal meningitis and lost his brain, lost big chunks, humongous chunks of his brain. So it just, and then I went to therapy to get help with that, and then the therapist raped me. So it just, the baggage kept getting more and more and more and more and more and more. And then this has impacted my life. I turned into an alcoholic in my late 40s. Never had a drinking problem in my life. But when I was raped by my psychologist, it was the last straw to me. That and my handicapped son being brutally beaten and kicked out of his home, that like shattered me. That was it. That was the last straw. And I started drinking half a bottle of vodka every day. Why do you think people have addictions, okay? People that come from healthy, happy environments, stable homes, they're not going to have addictions, you know? It's the people that have suffered. So this is why people turn to chemicals, because it at least relieves the pain for a little while, you know? Some relief from the pain. You know, I need to have just a little relief from the constant pain. So now with my emotional baggage, I have like I went into pornography. I started stealing. Like I said, I turned into an alcoholic. I started having adulterous affairs. I have so much baggage now. It originated from my childhood. But how does my baggage now, my emotional baggage, affect relationships? Well, I am so afraid of being hurt because I repeatedly get hurt over and over again. I've gotten hurt by best friends. I did videos about that, how I got hurt by best friends. I did videos how I try to befriend a woman who lived 15 minutes away from me just a few months ago, and how she turned on me. Now I just avoid people altogether. I don't, I give off vibes that I don't want to talk to people. I'm not friendly with people. I did a video about that too. Like why I'm the reason I have no friends, that I give off those vibes. Like when I go to the library, I have my head in a book. I don't make friendly conversation with people, like other people do, you know. Sometimes I don't even say hi to people. So I might feel very standoffish. People might see me as a snob. Because of my emotional baggage in the past, I present that with me. So when you meet someone, okay, it could be a friend, it could be a future lover. You're not just meeting that person. You're meeting all their baggage. All right, they're carrying all their baggage with them. It's like there's a homeless man in my neighborhood, okay? I see him all over the place. He has a beard down to his, down to his waist. He has dreadlocked hair that's all matted together. And then he has a push cart, right? You know, like those grocery carts when you go food shopping. And it's loaded with cans that, he probably goes around the garbage tins and collects cans so he can get like whatever, I don't know, what are they, 5 cents? I don't know what they are now because I don't return them. You get money for cans. And, he has some ratty clothes or a ratty blanket, and it just like his push cart, right, is so overloaded. It's like filled to the top. and it's overloaded on the side. I mean, it looks humongous, all right? And he's pushing that around everywhere. That's all his stuff. So when you see him with all his stuff. And when you meet someone, like if you were to meet me, you meet me with all my emotional baggage. Of course, you don't physically see it, like you don't physically see all these suitcases or a big push cart like that homeless man with all the cans and dirty old blankets or whatever else he has jam-packed in that bag. But when you get to know me, you will, because my emotional baggage is stored inside of me. When you get to know me, then it will come out. It'll come out in ways where I'll be very clingy. I'll be I'll be very reactive. I get hurt very easily. I don't trust anyone, so I'll question people. I'll question people's motives. I'll question what people say. I'll be very offended because my mother always criticized me, and she always shamed me, belittled me, put me down. Stupid. You'll never amount to nothing. So it'll be very different if someone were to, deal with me compared to someone else who is carrying much less, much lighter baggage. They're going to be more, I'm a shattered person, okay? So someone who deals with me has to deal with all my shattered pieces, right? Compared to someone who just has a crack or two, right? Think about it. If you have a vase with maybe a crack or two, you can put water in and flowers. But if you come in a room and see this vase shattered all over the room, and you have these beautiful bouquet of flowers, what are you going to do? You're going to say, I have nowhere to put these flowers. This vase over here is shattered into pieces. I don't even know where to begin to pick up these pieces. I mean, some of them are lost. Some of them, are so crushed that you just have to throw them out, because what are you going to do with it? So most people will go and put their fresh flowers in a vase that's whole, okay? Might just have a hairline crack or two. Then a vase that, well, you can't physically do it because it's shattered into pieces. What do you can't fill, you can't give the beautiful flowers. So that's what people are dealing with when they're dealing with me. So now I don't deal, I stay away from people. I avoid people at all costs because the last time was the last time for me that I was ever going to put myself out there again, because I'm just tired of it, I did videos about my best friend, how she, walked all over me. Go watch those videos because I don't want to get into the depths about my best friend and all the abuse I took from her. But yeah, she was never there for me when I needed her. It was all about her. So because of all, this is a baggage that I bring, and other people bring their baggage to each and every new relationship that you have. You bring your emotional baggage. And because I am so shattered and I have just so much baggage, it's just overwhelming. Now I just don't get into any relationships at all. That way, I protect myself. I protect other people, from getting cut. Like, think about the broken vase, the shattered pieces. If someone is nice and kind and wants to, help and, pick up the pieces, what are they going to do? The pieces have sharp and jagged edges on them. They're going to get cut. So this way here, it protects other people. And it protects me. The only long-term relationship I had is 37 years married to my husband. Now, I met my husband when I was 18, and even though at 18 I had a lot of emotional baggage, I hid it well at 18. I dissociated a lot at that age. It wasn't until much later that I had amnesia, okay, when I was 18, meaning, and I dissociated. I was kind of like numb to the abuse that I endured all my life from my parents. I was numbed to it. I dissociated. I did not, how can I put this? It was like purpose, purpose, purposely um, erasing my brain because I couldn't deal with it. I couldn't handle it, so I just purposely erased it as if it didn't happen. And when Andrew met me, he didn't know my back history. He didn't know anything, because I had purposely just blocked it out. All right. I don't know if any of you have had amnesia like that from your childhood, where you just blocked out big chunks because you couldn't deal with it. You just completely dissociated. It's like if you were being raped. You're mentally not in. You're outside of your body, so you're somewhere outside of your body. So is it? You're not present there because you cannot handle what's happening. So you're outside of your body, somewhere else, and so I didn't tell him that I was accepted to a 4-year university, and my mother said I was stupid, and she was never going to support me going there, that I wasn't going there. I was going to the stupid junior college, community college rather. And that's where I met my husband. And then I got a full-time job, and he was impressed by that. At that time, I was driving before I stopped driving altogether because of the severe panic attacks that I had. I didn't drive for a good chunk of my life, probably from like the age of 22 to my 40s. Most of my life I didn't drive. But at the time Andrew met me, I looked like I was all together. He didn't know anything about my childhood or my baggage. He met my parents. He didn't really see my father. He didn't know my mother, because my mother put the phony face on, like, I'm the best mother in the world. She put the facade on. Nobody knew the bitch, the hell I lived through with my mother, only now since I'm doing my YouTube videos. So when I met Andrew, I was driving, I was going to the same college he was, I wasn't on drugs, I didn't drink, I was a virgin, so I looked like a good catch to him. He had no idea what was inside of me, he had no idea the living hell, like hell in a cell. That was me, hell in a cell. That I was keeping myself in, like that closed cell where, So later on, he was in for a doozy to find out everything that he found out about what happened to me. But he's the only one that stuck by me through it all. Yeah. So I still carry the emotional baggage. The only way I deal with it is, I don't allow myself to have relationships outside of my husband and my sons, so I will never be ever hurt again from anyone. If I don't associate with people, how can people hurt me? No people, no pain. That's my motto. And I just do my videos and do my books and write, and that's what I do every day, and be with my children. My children fulfill a big part of my life too. Like my handicapped son, we saw him yesterday at his house. Today he's coming home for dinner. Tomorrow we're going to take him out for ice cream and buy him a toy. And so I put all my love and time into what I love the most, my children, my poetry, my videos, and that's how I get by. But we all carry emotional baggage. Let me know how your emotional baggage has impacted your life, and your relationships, of course. I'd love to hear that. I'd love to hear from you, and let's keep talking and have this discussion. I think it's very important. Everyone carries emotional baggage, even if you came from a very healthy home. You still can't avoid the outside world, right? Things are gonna, unfortunately, life is life, and people are people, and all right.